So this week on Value Addition, we are at Caffe del Duca, where we are showing you the processes that the coffee beans have to go through before you can finally find the final product on the shelves of your favorite supermarkets and stores. And with us here is Simon, who will be taking us through the process that will be taking place here, which is roasting the coffee beans, and he will be telling us more about why it is important to roast the coffee beans, and of course giving us more information about the particular beans, the particular variety or type of coffee that they do process here at Caffe del Duca. Simon.
And today we are roasting a blend called mocha. We have two types of coffee, Robusta and Arabica. Robusta comes from Busia and Arabica comes from Mount Kenya region. So when the temperature goes to 230, we shall start the roasting.
Why do we need to roast the coffee beans?
We have to roast to make them blend, to make the taste from one type go to the other and the other one to the other, to make one taste. Because two of them, one is acidic and the other one is alkaline. So we have to roast them to mix the pH and make the taste one. Now I'm loading the coffee to the roaster and we start roasting. Normally we take 15 to 20 minutes to roast about 21 kgs of coffee. Now we wait for the time to make it ready. Waiting for the coffee to cool down. We give it time to cool and we shall empty it. This is a distoner, a machine that removes everything that is heavier than coffee. Now after destoning, the coffee is ready for packing.
We have a 500 package and a 250 package too. This is how we stock our coffees, or for big hotels we do 1 kg if necessary. You do it manually as it's written over there. Your hands must be clean, washed properly. Now if I have to weigh 254 beans, we do fine grind where we're going to grind with our grinder there, and we also do beans that we are going to just sell. So I can just demonstrate on how we do it. That is 250. Our coffee is not that expensive. For 250 grams, we go for 250 shillings plus VAT. That is for the supermarkets. And for 500 gram, we do at a price of 600 per 500 gram. I've done the beans, so this is the sealer. Just place it there. That's it. We've done our 250. Let me now demonstrate for our grinder. I'll use the grinder. We have different grinds. We can do a coarse, for more fine or very fine. That is 500. Seal it. That quick. This is also our coffee for home consumption, also for big hotels. Very easy to use, and for hotels accountability, it's very good. So we'll have to go to the pod machine. We do the cappuccino, espresso, the latte espresso, and latte macchiato. But for now, I'm only going to do a cappuccino, black coffee, and an espresso. This is the pod. You place it inside the pod machine. Use an espresso cup. That is the espresso. Let me show you on how to make a cappuccino. This is where you froth the milk. A cappuccino is a third of espresso and 2/3 of milk. You mix your espresso with your milk, with your frothed milk. There is your cappuccino. Black coffee, it's just an espresso and hot water. You mix your espresso with hot water. That will make a black coffee. There you are. You can enjoy your coffee.
Now, before we come to the final product, after roasting, as you're told, it's taken to the distoner. The roasted coffee is taken to the distoner, where anything heavier than coffee remains behind while coffee gets sucked into the distoner. Then we move the roasted coffee from the distoner to the silos where they are stored, awaiting orders from clients. We always make sure that we do our coffee fresh. When a client orders, we make the order there and then. So before we get our espressos, actually our product is coffee espresso, which can be in form of beans, packed in 250 grams, 500 grams, or 1 kg. It can also be in form of grind. So from here, everything is transferred to the grinder and the sealer, or to the pod machine for the final product. So this is just for our storage, the silos. And interestingly, in the silos, as I told you before earlier, the product gains oil. And sometimes the oily it is, the tastier, the better it is in the mouth. For our espresso pods, they are packed in 200 pieces per bag, and you can see this is environmentally friendly. We had to follow the government regulation, and so this bag is actually part of our brand. in itself, because some guys even tell us that we give them bags without the coffee. They just love them. And when one sees the bag, they give us a call. Then they say, where can we get your coffee? I got your bag from such and such a place, but now I need the content.
Matthew describes their way of working as a partnership way of business. Their clients communicate once there is a problem, even give insights on how they can make their product much better.
A small thing can make you lose an entire market. But I thank God because most of our clients, when they detect something, they inform us. They also tell us on how to improve, even on our packaging. So it is like we are working hand in hand, even with our clients. We don't know it all, because ours, as we said, it can't be 100%. It can't be 100%. We are very small in the office, but we help the bigger society out there.
Climate change is a challenge in the agriculture sector, which also has affected coffee farming. Also, the urban development has also led to uprooting of coffee plantations in order to put up real estates.
Climate change has destroyed the farming and the coffee farming for that matter in Kenya. And secondly, we want to get rich quick. So we are cutting down the coffee plantations and erecting, we call them rocks or stones, that is buildings. People are putting up real estates. The farms are also very small. Then, as you can see, the weather has changed. The rainfall pattern has changed. And that has affected the production of coffee, like any other crop. But coffee in Kenya is not enough. And even our future in terms of growing coffee we are quite uncertain about it. And I think even the government has to do a bit of work in terms of policy and even promoting the farmers, encouraging to plant coffee. And what I may say is that we are very uncertain about the future of our coffee, very uncertain.
Kenyans ought to cultivate the culture of taking coffee, as we are the producers of the finest quality in the entire world. Unfortunately, according to Matthew, the best coffee is normally exported, while we remain with the low quality coffee. This though could change if we increase on coffee consumption, meaning we will have created and broadened our own market.
One, we are not aggressive. There is a bit of contentment just by the fact that Kenya is regarded as one of the best coffee producing country. It has made us to be very much contented. Where we are, this was once a coffee plantation farm. The entire, when you drive along, when you come from Blue Post to this place, it was entirely coffee. Right now, what can you see? Buildings. Yes. So they are like in Ethiopia, they're very aggressive. And again, they drink their own coffee.
Regulatory policies are also quite hefty for the investors in terms of the licenses requirement, which makes it difficult for investors who would in return have supported coffee growing farmers. Matthew hopes that the government could support more investors in an effort to uplift more coffee farmers.
The licenses that we work on in the beginning of the year is ridiculous. A small person cannot trade in coffee. You have to look for all those licenses. Previously, we thought that the county government will be of much help, but unfortunately, they've become a burden. I have to say this, because at the beginning we were paying like 5,500. Now we paid 50,000 to get the working permit, what we call business permit, within 2 years. It's ridiculous. Other than that, we have to pay for the roasting, which is called the dealer's license.
Agricultural extension officers need to be seen more on the ground, educating farmers on effective farming practices that will increase the yields. Matthew states that they are forced to send their own experts on the ground to assist their own farmers in crop management in order to get the required results.
We have to look for our guys, the so-called specialists, to facilitate us few stuff for us. It's like there is no, what is it called? Like we used to have the extension officers. You remember these guys, eh? Yeah, they are rare to come by now. The extension officers were, and they are offering services for free. And that will cut down on the costs. So instead of employing like 10 specialists, you'll even have 2. You cut down on the cost. So that will cater for something else, isn't it? But now that is not the case.
On this particular segment, we bring you a nutritionist who bring us more enlightenment about some of the foods that we consume in their processed forms.
There are advantages of taking coffee. One, you have your very rich in antioxidants, okay? And so it has properties that we call them anti-inflammation properties. So they tend to reduce the chances of you getting certain diseases. Cancer, some types of cancer have been associated with people who drink coffee, okay? And we're talking about, if you're looking at amounts, you're talking about maybe per day, around 3 cups. Some studies say as much as even 4 cups, okay? Beyond that is another issue altogether. In some areas, we tend to discourage intake of coffee, especially in pregnant women, okay? And also elderly, especially elderly women, because high intake of coffee sometimes has been shown to increase incidence of fracture, bone fracture. But nonetheless, for the general healthy population, the advantages are still there. Like for example, with memory, improvement of memory and diseases that affect the memory, Alzheimer's, Parkinson's, dementia. Intake of coffee has been shown to delay the onset of those diseases, or if they do come around, the effects are not as severe as those persons who do not take coffee regularly. One of the health benefits that I think I should also be able to mention is in terms of protecting the cardiac function, heart function. So that one has been documented and it's well, there's no dispute there, okay? In terms of protecting the heart function, okay? But excessive intake, yes, because of the addiction of caffeine, that one is there as well.
Coffee has been a functional drink probably for as long as it has been in existence, thanks to its natural caffeine content, which makes it a beloved source of energy in the morning. That's all from Value Addition. Join us again for yet another exciting episode of Value Addition. Until next time, it's bye-bye for now.